Hi, I'm Bob Swirsel. We're going to walk Section 3 of the Seattle Olmsted 50 route from Husky Stadium to Washington Park Playfield. Let's go. We start at Husky Stadium, outside the University of Washington Light Rail Station in Seattle, Washington. As we walk onto the Montlake Bridge, we cross the Montlake Cut, the final version of a series of efforts to establish a connection across Montlake between Lake Washington and Lake Union. Over history, indigenous people portaged or carried their boats between the lakes. Harvey Pike made a failed attempt at a canal. The Seattle Coal and Transportation Company built a tramway to deliver coal between barges. The Wah-Chung Company, made of Chinese laborers, dug a ditch for logs and small boats. And finally, the United States Army Corps of Engineers built the Lake Washington Ship Canal project, which was completed in 1917. The totem pole here tells the story of North Island. It was carved in 1937 by Haida Chief John Dewey Wallace for the Waterfall Cannery in Alaska. Disappeared under unknown circumstances, was found in 2 pieces in Seattle, and eventually was restored and installed here through donations from the Committee of 33. There's always a story. We're walking Section 3 of the Seattle Olmsted 50 route, created by the non-profit organization the Mountaineers. They were founded in 1906 and teach outdoor skills, lead adventures in nature, and advocate to conserve natural lands. The Seattle Olmsted 50 goes 31 miles, 50 kilometers, between the Ballard Locks and Rainier Beach Playfield, highlighting parts of the 1903 Olmsted Park Master Plan. We're walking from Husky Stadium to Foster Island, Washington Park Arboretum, Interlaken Park, Volunteer Park, and back to the Arboretum, ending at the Washington Park Playfield. The route is 6.7 miles or 10.7 kilometers long, with an elevation gain of about 725 feet or 220 meters. Crossing a floating bridge, we enter Marsh Island, which you'll notice barely sits above the water level of Lake Washington. When the Lake Washington Ship Canal was first opened in 1916, the lake became 9 feet lower, which exposed more shoreline, including parts of Marsh Island. The north part of Foster Island was known as Statichi, or Little Island, and was used by the Duwamish people as a burial ground. We walk underneath State Road 520, which separates Foster Island into 2 halves, as it crosses Lake Washington using the world's longest floating bridge. Leaving Foster Island, we enter the Washington Park Arboretum, established in 1934 and designed by the Olmsted Brothers landscape architects firm. Azalea Way is perhaps the star of the Arboretum, as it features many beautiful cherry blossoms, dogwoods, and colorful azaleas that are a delight to behold when each is in bloom. It was previously known as the Speedway, a 40-foot wide horse racing track used in the early 20th century. In the 1930s, it took over 10,000 hours of manual labor, 500 railroad cars of compost, and the planting of 500 trees and 2,100 azaleas to transform it into the corridor it is today. We'll leave the Arboretum for now, heading into the Montlake neighborhood. Entering Interlaken Park, we're walking along the remnants not just of a parkway, but of a network of bicycle paths. A founding member of the Queen City Good Roads Club, Assistant City Manager George Fletcher Cotterill was responsible for the installation of 25 miles of bicycle paths in Seattle, including one that ran through Interlaken Park. The Olmsted brothers used most of the bicycle path through this area in planning what they called the Volunteer Hill Parkway that would connect Volunteer Park with Washington Park. We're now in the Capitol Hill neighborhood. Since I was feeling hungry, I stopped at the Volunteer Park Cafe and Pantry, which was originally a neighborhood grocery store built in 1904. Now that we're satiated, we can head to the Louisa Boren Lookout, which features an untitled sculpture by artist Lee Kelly that I swear has no single angle from which you can take a good photo. I am not a professional photographer, so this is probably untrue. The Grand Army of the Republic Cemetery holds the graves of 526 Civil War soldiers and their wives, representing almost 25 states, and mostly for those who fought for the Union. This park entry off Gaylor Street almost seems like a secret entrance to Volunteer Park. Volunteer Park was first used as a park in 1887 and gets its current name from the 1901 commemoration of veterans who fought in the Spanish-American War. The reservoir here has carried water pumped from the Cedar River watershed since 1901. Inside the water tower, we go up the 107 stairs to an observation floor with an Olmsted exhibit. This shooting star is part of a memorial to Pablo Seldner, the original landscape designer for the Volunteer Play Yard project, who died from AIDS-related illness before it was completed in 1990. In case you missed out on some good bites, the route passes by the Volunteer Park Cafe and Pantry a second time. We'll take a lower path to get back through Interlaken Park as we return to the Arboretum. The road here is Lake Washington Boulevard, designed by the Olmsted brothers to link many of the parks in their park system. The first completed segment of Lake Washington Boulevard runs through Washington Park and was built in 1904. Reaching the ball fields, we finished Section 3 of the Olmsted 50. That was a nice walk. I plan to do the rest of the Seattle Olmsted 50 in future videos. If you want to see more of my content, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.